watching booktube videos constantly and thinking, maybe I should start a channel? Has the TikTok ban scared you and you thought maybe I should switch platforms? This might be the best time to take the plunge, hit record, and post your first video. But there's a ton of information out there on the internet about starting a YouTube channel, and it's really easy to get lost in all the noise. On top of that, a lot of the tips and tricks for starting a YouTube channel don't necessarily translate over to Booktube. Whether you have been lurking in the comments or the live stream chats for years, or you are just starting on your reading journey, this is going to be the video for you. So get comfy, grab a pen and paper, and let's get started. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Bree and this is For Paws in a Book. It's 2025, and if one of your New Year's resolutions, one of your goals was to start a booktube channel this year, then hopefully I can help you. I've been on booktube for 7 years now, and so I have learned a ton on my journey to this point. I've had some big successes, but I've also had some really big failures, some big flops as well. So I'd like to think that I have some knowledge that I can share with you. This is going to be the first in what I hope will be a series of videos where I will periodically be highlighting and sharing some tips and tricks about my time here on booktube. Before we get into that, we need to talk about the why you should consider starting a booktube channel. With so many people already on this platform talking about books, raving about books, and with the influx of book talkers that are coming over to this platform with the TikTok ban, is there even room for you? What's the point in joining, right? Wrong. The booktube community is still growing. Booktube has grown beyond reviewing books these days. You've got your reading vlogs, you have your book discussion, you have your deep dives into specific genres and specific tropes, and there's even commentary about the book community and the publishing industry as a whole. There is space for every kind of book lover out there. But the real reason to start a booktube channel, it becomes your personal space to connect with others and join the community, talk about books, and share your love of reading. The most common answer to why do you want to start a channel is, I don't have anyone in my real life that talks about books or that reads what I do, and so I'm hoping to find that community here. Whether you are into epic fantasy or sci-fi, the ever-growing romantasy trend, maybe horror, or even nonfiction, there is a niche on booktube for you, and you can find your community and grow your community of people that value your opinions and your insights. I fully believe that 2025 is going to be the year of connections. Social media is trending towards authenticity among all platforms. People want to hear from you, the real, unfiltered person behind the book review. Keep that mindset at the forefront as you move forward. Booktube is a really interesting part of the larger YouTube sphere because you can still succeed without crazy edits, without splashy graphics, or a clean, clear aesthetic. People are clicking on your video because they want to hear from you. Okay, have I convinced you yet? Are you chomping at the bit, ready to hit record and to post your first video? Now that we've figured out the why behind starting a booktube, let's get into the how to start a booktube. There are so many videos out there about starting a YouTube channel in general. Specifically at the beginning of the year, this is a very trending topic for videos. Either that or my algorithm is just really showing me a lot of them. However, booktube is a really interesting niche when it comes to video content and growing your channel, and sometimes the general YouTube advice is not super helpful when it comes to booktube. But we will worry about the specifics, the analytics, and all of that later on. First, let's break down the basics, because that is why you're here. First things first, you have to find your niche. As this community and as this platform continues to grow, books is not enough of a niche for you. You need to figure out what makes you unique and figure out why people should click on your video opposed to somebody else's. You don't have to stick to one genre, especially if you are a mood reader, but you do need to figure out how you're going to stand out. Are you interested in book to movie adaptations? Do you have recommendations for the best audiobook narrators out there? Are you passionate about reading and promoting indie and self-pub authors? Finding your niche is going to help you stand out in the crowd that is ever growing, and it will help you to find your ideal audience, meaning that the YouTube algorithm will know who to promote your new videos to. Okay, you might be tempted to run out to Best Buy and grab the best camera and lighting kit, fancy microphone, all that stuff, but don't do that yet. You don't need a professional setup when you're just starting out. In fact, you probably already have a pretty decent camera in your pocket. Most smartphones have decent cameras, and it's a perfect way to start out until you know exactly what type of camera you want and if you're even going to be doing this long term. The two things that you do want to focus on when filming is lighting and sound quality. If you have an open window and a sunny day, honestly, natural lighting is the best. That's how I'm filming this video today. Of course, that's not always a possibility, and so getting something like a ring light or shadow box is an alternative for that. Sound is probably going to be the most important quality that you're going to want to focus on, as a lot of people will put on a YouTube video and listen to it more like a podcast. Viewers are less forgiving of poor audio than they are of poor lighting or visual quality. Once you've gotten your footing and you're ready to make an investment, a good microphone is probably the first thing that you're going to want to get. You can get microphones that attach to your phone, and so you don't have to get a camera along with it. And when you're first starting out, your phone camera and your microphone will work just fine. Make sure that you're filming in a quiet space with minimal background noise, preferably indoors, so that you don't have to worry about wind or anything like that. More importantly, your content just needs to be clear, engaging, and entertaining, and people will stick around. Now for the fun part. Now you get to start planning your content. The best recommendation I can give you is to plan a few videos before you even start. The Booktube newbie tag is an OG classic and a great way to introduce your channel to the world. But you don't need to necessarily make that your first video. Likely, that will be the video that gets the most eyeballs onto your channel, as it is something that YouTube algorithm tends to push. So if you're nervous about it, start with something else. Maybe a book haul or a library haul, maybe your monthly hopefuls. Or if you're feeling really brave, maybe even a reading vlog. One piece of advice that I have seen over and over, and I think is a great recommendation, is to have 4 to 5 videos ready to go on your channel when you go live. That way, when people find you, they have a few videos to watch to get to know you and to binge your content. You could do things like a reading challenge, you could do a readathon TBR, or say your buzzwordathon pile of possibilities. Maybe a wrap up of some of your recent reads, or perhaps a dedicated review of your favorite book and why everyone in the world should read it. Keep it fresh and experiment with what feels right for you. But remember, above all else, be authentic. Don't just make a video because you saw another booktuber make that same video and it did well for them. People can tell when you are copying ideas or copying somebody else's content versus doing something because you truly love the topic or it is something that you're passionate about. Once your video is filmed, it's time to edit. Now, this process can seem extremely daunting, and it's something that you will definitely get better as you go along. Don't expect your first video to have cinematic level editing quality. Don't stress. There are free apps like iMovie if you have a MacBook or an iPad that you can edit on, or beginner-friendly programs such as DaVinci Resolve, which tends to be a very popular editing software, and those will all help you polish up your video. The great thing about Booktube is that these videos don't typically have extravagant editing cuts or flashy effects. It's very simply talking to a camera, and the idea of these videos are that it's just one friend talking to another. This is great news for you because it means that it shouldn't feel extremely overwhelming. Personally, I would find some YouTube tutorials on the software that you're going to use just to find the ways to do it, quick cuts, things like that. Because while a lot of the editing platforms are very similar, they do have some specifications and differences, variations in them. And so me telling you how to do it specifically is not going to be helpful for you. The important thing to remember when you're editing is that you want your video to be concise and fun to watch. You want to hook your viewer quickly so that they want to continue watching. Tell them what you're going to do in the video, tell them what you're going to talk about, and make it quick and concise. Keep the vibe light and exciting, make a thumbnail that is eye-catching, and make a title that connects to the viewer. Your thumbnail and your title are your first impression for a viewer, and so you want to make something that is engaging to your audience. If those two things are not clear, you're not even getting in the door. Now it's time for the magic. Engaging with the book community. Building your community is all about interaction, letting the world know that you even exist, because YouTube is not going to do it for you at the beginning. But, and I cannot stress this enough, it's all going to circle back to authenticity. Don't just comment on other people's videos with a "I posted a video" or spam a live chat. Your comments on other people's videos and responses on your videos have to feel real. like you're just chatting with a friend. Booktube is one of the most supportive communities on the internet. Rarely are you going to see hate comments or the toxicity that is ever prevalent in other communities on YouTube. It's a fun space where you're going to find like-minded people who have the same level of passion for books and for reading as you do. Make sure that not only on your videos, but also in the community, in your comments, in chats, and the way that you direct yourself on the internet, you are showing people your true authentic self, and it's going to be very easy to make friends. And as you build your audience, ask for feedback. Listen to your viewers and keep improving your content. It's all about learning and growing as you go. Okay, real talk here. Booktube is a lot of work. It is not the easiest niche on the internet. Not only do you have to make content, you have to stay involved in the community, and you have to learn new ways to market yourself and your brand, you have to read books in order to have the content. It's time consuming and it can easily become very exhausting. But on the flip side of that coin, it is so rewarding. If you want to stay consistent and avoid burnout, here are my final tips for you before you go off and start your own Booktube journey. Number one, create a schedule that works for you. Odds are you have a life outside of books. You might have school, you might have a job, you might have kids and a family, you might have a social life. Honestly, what is that? So while I typically post 3 videos a week, that may not be something that's feasible for you. And that is okay. Do not try to compare yourself to other booktubers who are putting out loads and loads of content. You want to make sure that you're creating a schedule that you could be consistent with. Whether it's once a week, twice a week, maybe twice a month. Find a rhythm that works for you, and that way your audience will show up for you. Second, keep it fun and do not stress about analytics at the beginning. When you first start, not a lot of people are going to be watching your videos, and you know what? That's probably a good thing. You can figure out your voice as well as all of the technical aspects that go into video production without the fear of thousands of eyeballs on you. I would recommend not even going into your analytics or stressing about view counts at the beginning. Just work on your routine and finding your style and building your community of friends around you. The technical aspects, figuring out all of the SEOs and all of that other stuff can come later on down the road. Right now, this is a hobby, this is a passion project. You started this channel because you wanted to talk about your favorite books with other people that also share that love. If you put too much pressure on it to perform or do well, you're going to lose the enjoyment factor of it, and that's the easiest way to burn out. When you're not enjoying YouTube, reading and content creating becomes a chore and not something that you want to do. And lastly, don't forget to keep reading. Now this is going to sound extremely counterintuitive, but you're going to probably find that your reading speed is going to slow down once you start making content. Your reading time is now shared with filming and editing and channel admin and all that goes along with a YouTube channel. But don't forget, reading is why you started this channel in the first place. You may also find that if you're not careful, your reading is going to change. You may feel the need to pick up that new shiny romantasy book, even though you don't like romance. While I'm not saying never try new things, remember, be authentic to who you are. If reading Fourth Wing sounds worse than a root canal, don't read it just for a video or just to read what's popular on YouTube. Read what you want. Stay passionate, stay curious, but most importantly, stay true to yourself. So, are you ready to start your Booktube journey in 2025? Have I convinced you to pick up your camera, hit record, post your first video, sharing your love of books, and building that community? If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm going to be doing periodic videos throughout the year, and so hopefully I can dive into some more niche topics about Booktube and how to go about creating a channel, building your community, whatever it is that you guys want to know. And also make sure that you hit subscribe and you turn on your notifications so you don't miss all of the future tips and tricks. If you want to stick around and see more, I'm going to put this video right here where I tried to make YouTube my job for a day. And if you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!